For those of you waiting on that DOGE dividend stimulus refund check, new details being released on the bill that is being drafted in Congress right now. As take a look, I'm going to share with you the latest coming out on this DOGE stimulus check update. Millions will not qualify. We're going to be diving into the details, and you can see this has been updated today as we're hearing that new information is being leaked on what is coming out. And this comes, as I shared with you, DOGE stimulus check creator, Mr. James Fishback, reveals the bill is coming soon. We're hearing this is taking place right now. And if you're glad to hear that there is going to be a DOGE dividend bill presented in Congress here very soon, don't forget to drop a 47 in the comments for the Trump administration. Hit that like button, and also take a look regarding Trump and these dividend checks. Take a look. This text is being circulated around the United States right now. Donald Trump is saying, DOGE dividend check? Should I give DOGE savings back to you? Check signed by Donald Trump, yes or no? Respond back to this text. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. In addition to that, we're also hearing, take a look at this, Donald J. Trump, it isn't just enough to identify waste, fraud, and abuse. We have to refund the taxpayer their hard-earned money when their money was wasted and misused, and that's what the DOGE dividend calls for. Fishback. Meetings with lawmakers in the House and in the Senate were very productive and said a plan may be revealed here very soon. I'm keeping you up to date on this as we're hearing that it is underway right now. Now, in addition to that, I've also shared with you, I had an exclusive interview with Mr. Fishback. DOGE stimulus check update creator clarifies Social Security is eligible. So we're going to be covering the details of who is disqualified, but Social Security, you are qualified. And I've been checking for you the DOGE dividend tracker, the live tracker. It has been stuck at $115 billion. Now, this might have something to do with, speaking of Social Security, I shared with you just a couple of days ago, last week, Musk and DOGE were barred from accessing personal Social Security data by a judge. We heard that the Social Security Administrator, the intermittent acting commissioner, came out and said, well, we might have to shut down Social Security as a result of this. And we heard that there was pushback, and they said, okay, it's not going to be shut down, but DOGE is temporarily barred from accessing Social Security and that personal information, they said, and they actually have to delete any information that they have access to. They're saying this is going to temporarily delay the auditing of Social Security, the administration. And so those clawbacks that DOGE was expecting to see, well, it's going to be delayed a little bit, but they're saying that once they get through the trainings and the things necessary to get access, they will be getting access. But in the meantime, it is temporarily blocked. But like I said, we're hearing that right now, a DOGE dividend stimulus refund check by the Trump administration, which we heard was presented by Mr. Fishback, which then got the support of Elon Musk, which then got the support of Donald Trump, which now has got the support in Congress and is being drafted up at this time. New details being released on the bill that is about to be presented. So let me share with you the latest, get you caught up as to what is going on today, March 23rd, 2025, this evening, so that way you know exactly what is going on. Now, if you appreciate the updates, do me a quick favor, and I see all the comments coming in. Mr. David Ice is saying, hello, Steve. I see people saying, I heard already Social Security is going to get it. Yes, you are correct. Social Security is included in the DOGE dividend checks. I see those comments pouring in. Happy Sunday, Steve, says Tyree Lynch. Thank you for that. Roxy put a 47. Let's go ahead and dive right in. But before we do me a favor. If you appreciate the updates, don't forget, take a second, hit that like button for me. Helps spread this out further so more people can get the latest updated information, find out specifically who is qualifying, the information we're hearing about the new bill, who's not. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? I'll keep you up to speed on everything so you know exactly what is going on. Join the newsletter at steveramnews.com. That's my name, steveramnews.com. And I will keep you guys up to speed on everything. And as always, I cite all the sources. I put it on the screen, read right from the articles, so that way you can see it for yourself. You can see the dates, the sources, know that this is the latest information. And also, as this comes out in Congress, I'll be reviewing the exact bill that's provided as well, so that way you can see it for yourself, which we are hearing is on the way. In fact, I was just checking Mr. Fishback's X just a little while ago, And he said, very excited with a picture of himself, and a lot of comments are saying, we can't wait to see that DOGE dividend bill presented in Congress. So speculation that there could be hints that this could be coming here potentially this week. We could see the actual legislation drafted up. And like I said, as soon as that comes out, know that I will be sharing it here on the channel so that way you can see it for yourself. And again, if you appreciate that, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to stay up to date. Let's go ahead and dive right in. And I'm still seeing those 47s pouring in. And I see Chris Perez saying, blah, 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 get to it. I agree. Steven saying the same thing. All right, you guys. Thank you for entertaining my comments. Let's go ahead and get to it so you can see it for yourself. So, DOGE stimulus check update, millions will not qualify. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, it says the mastermind behind the proposal to issue the DOGE dividend checks to Americans has confirmed to Newsweek that millions of taxpaying immigrants without legal status will not be eligible for the payments. If you are it says tax-paying immigrants that are here illegally, you will not be eligible for the payments. Illegal immigrants are never going to get a DOGE dividend check. If you like the sound of that, put a 47 in the comments. They did not come into this country legally. They do not pay into the system the way that the U.S. citizens do. Mr. Fishback, CEO of Azoria investment firm, said, he told Newsweek in an interview, they are absolutely not going to get a penny, he added. So he said, illegal immigrants, you are disqualified from getting this check. So those that have entered in here illegally, even if they are working in the system, it says, tax-paying immigrants. But if you're here illegally, you do not qualify for this check. And we've heard Mr. Fishback say, you are welcome into this country if you're seeking asylum, you want a better life, you want all of these things. However, there is a legal process by which you need to enter into the country. And if you have not gone through that process, you do not qualify for this DOGE dividend check. So that's going to be clarifying for a lot of people that got previous stimulus checks that were maybe here illegally or on Social Security or whatever the case was, collecting these things. He is saying that is not going to happen. It is going to be very clear in the legislation. They will not be getting checks. Not even a single penny of this will be going back. It is going back to the American tax-paying citizen, those that are working into the system, or those that are collecting Social Security. And just to clarify, for those of you that have been wondering, I've covered this here on the channel. If you are collecting retirement, Social Security, and you are not working, you still qualify. He said, you have paid into the system your entire life. You will be at the front of the line for the DOGE dividend check if you're collecting Social Security. However, if you're not old enough or you don't collect Social Security, you have to work. You don't have to make $40,000 a year. You just need to work. In fact, he said, just go back to work and you'll qualify for a check. They're actually considering calling it the DOGE signing bonus. So just wanted to take a second to clarify on that. But let's go ahead and go back to the article so that way we can give you some more details. Now, reading on, it says, why it matters. The Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, led by President Donald Trump's billionaire backer and close confidant Elon Musk, is focusing on slashing the government spending and has dissected multiple federal agencies. Fishback has proposed using the savings to provide $5,000 checks to American taxpayers. And again, just to clarify on the amount, it is not set $5,000. It is going to be 20% of clawbacks from the DOGE initiative. So they said if they hit their goal of $2 trillion, that would equate to a $5,000 check per household. However, if they only make it halfway and they get $1 trillion worth of clawbacks, that would equate to a $2,500 check per household. Also, if they exceed that, say by some chance they get $4 trillion, double their goal, which I don't think is going to happen, but if they were able to hit that, then the check essentially would double from $5,000 to $10,000. So it's a moving scale based on 20% of the clawbacks. Just to clarify that amount for those that are wondering, is it going to be $5,000? It's a moving scale. It is 20%. Now, here is what to know. Mr. Fishback said that there will be provisions in this legislation that will prevent migrants without legal status from accessing the payments. What we are working with our congressional partners on right now is making sure that the legislation is reflecting the need for accuracy and security of these payments, he said. I think you'll see it in the bill, he added. The idea is backed by President Donald J. Trump and tech billionaire Musk. The plan seeks to return, part of the savings to the public, though it has not yet been finalized. I spoke with Elon a week and a half ago, and one thing that he's really excited about with this DOGE dividend proposal that Osorio has put forward is it incentivizes the taxpayer in two ways, Mr. Fishback said. It incentivizes them to report waste, but it also incentivizes the taxpayer to trust in DOGE to be a part. Cutting spending is not necessarily popular, but it allows the fake news to mischaracterize what is actually happening. The proposal states that 20% of the savings generated by DOGE would be returned to the taxpayer through checks. Based on the current savings of $115 billion, the DOGE website estimates that each American taxpayer would receive approximately $142 if the funds were distributed today. But again, to clarify, that is not today. That is when the initiative is completed. We will see what that total amount is, and they're saying 20% will go back to the American taxpayer in this proposed bill. However, nearly 40% of the contracts terminated by DOGE so far are unlikely to generate financial savings for the government, raising questions about the program's overall effectiveness. Supporters argue that future savings could reach $2 trillion, making $5,000 checks a possibility. Now, approximately 79 million American households could qualify for these payments, with the initiative encouraging the public to report inefficiencies to boost savings even further, as millions of taxpayers without legal status will not be eligible. Excluding them from the DOGE dividend potentially overlooks their contributions to public revenue. In 2022, these immigrants contributed approximately $96.7 billion in taxes at federal, state, and local levels, according to the left-leaning think tank Institute on Taxation and Economy Policy. Of this total, $59.4 billion was paid to the federal government, while $37.3 billion went to state and local governments, highlighting the significant fiscal contributions made by these individuals despite their immigration status. Fishback told Newsweek that he is engaged in ongoing discussions with lawmakers and expressed optimism that legislation will be introduced here very soon. Now, let me know your thoughts. Should illegal immigrants be included in the DOGE dividend refund check? If you think so, put yes. If you think no, put no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But we're hearing Mr. Fishback is saying that right now the legislation that he is working on with members of Congress, illegal immigrants that are in the United States, even if they are working, they will not get a single penny. Millions are going to be disqualified from this because he said, unless you have gone through the proper process to be here legally or you are an American citizen, you're not going to be included in these checks. Let me know your thoughts. And I'm seeing tons of no's pouring in. People are saying, no, legal immigrants should not qualify for these checks. Now, while you're putting those yeses and nos, if you haven't done so yet, please take a second, hit that like button, help spread this out further so more people can get the latest updates. Now, in addition to that, let's go ahead and go back to the article. It says the DOGE payment initiative faces a new obstacle as recent fiscal reports reveal that the expected savings from Musk's department have not materialized. According to the Congressional Budget Office, or the CBO, the federal deficit increased by 5% in February, driven by a 7% rise in spending compared to the same period just last year. The DOGE stimulus plan proposes allocating 20% of the department's savings to taxpayers and another 20% to reducing national debt. It projects $2 trillion in savings over 18 months, which could provide $400 billion in direct payments, around $5,000 per check, to 79 million taxpayers. However, the latest CBO figures raise doubts about the plan's feasibility. The federal government borrowed $1.1 trillion during the first 5 months of fiscal year 2025, including $308 billion in February alone. So here's what people are saying. Brendan Duke, Senior Director for Federal Budget Policy at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, previously told Newsweek, the only way we are going to see a DOGE dividend at current course and speed is Congress pretending fake savings are real savings and enacting a deficit finance tax cut on top of a $4.5 trillion in tax cuts that they are considering as a part of extending the 2017 tax law. Wow. So He is not on board with this, thinking that this is not going to be a reality. Lance Roberts, chief investment strategist and economist at RIA Advisor, told Newsweek, if you increase demand without a subsequent increase in supply, inflation is the result. A tax credit would be more beneficial in helping the bottom 50% of income taxpayers that pay little or no tax. They get a refund, but won't create as big of a demand surge. And let me know your thoughts. I actually spoke directly with Mr. Fishback on the impacts of inflation. He said this would not be inflationary because he believes these clawbacks, these are not new funds. This is not Congress who holds the power of the purse calling for new funds to be generated, but they are just taking existing funds and redistributing them. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that these DOGE dividend checks will spark inflation? If so, put yes. If no, put no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, what happens next? Mr. Fishback told Newsweek that the legislation, it will be coming very soon. Implementing the bill would require further approval by Congress, with the earliest potential payouts expected by the summer of 2026. So there you have it, you guys. That is the latest we are hearing. That is an update on the qualifications as to who would potentially get these DOGE dividend checks. They are saying millions will not qualify, and that is those that are illegal immigrants. They will not be considered for these checks. Now, as I mentioned, we've heard this bill is going to be coming here very soon. And in fact, we just saw an update on Mr. James Fishback's X, where he said, I'm very excited. And a lot of people saying, is there going to be an announcement for a DOGE dividend refund stimulus check bill coming here very soon? We're hearing that this is being worked on as we speak. Now, take a look at this article with me. Let's cover it very quickly here. It says, the creator behind the proposal to issue $5,000 DOGE dividend checks to American taxpayers has told Newsweek that legislation is coming very soon. James Fishback, CEO of Azoria investment firm, revealed ongoing discussions with lawmakers and expressed optimism that a formal bill will be introduced here very shortly. In fact, I shared with you that he said this was imminent. This is coming. I have ongoing discussions with folks in the administration, and I've had ongoing discussions with folks on the Hill. I spoke with 6 U.S. senators this past week and continued those conversations to get feedback, and it's been overwhelmingly positive. The next step is there's going to be a bill, and the bill is coming very soon, Mr. Fishback told Newsweek in an interview. The Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, is tasked with reducing the administration's operation costs and has dissected several federal agencies to downsize the government. Fishback has suggested that using the savings to distribute $5,000 checks to American taxpayers, the plan backed by President Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk aims to return a portion of the savings to the public, though it remains unfinalized. So we will see if this gets finalized here, and we will see a DOGE dividend stimulus refund check here very soon. Now, what to know? I don't want to get ahead of our partners on the Hill, but the bill is coming, Mr. Fishback said. So again, he is clarifying that there is a bill coming. I've heard a lot of people say there's not going to be a bill. This isn't going to take place. We're hearing from Mr. Fishback that he is working with Congress as we speak, and a bill is underway right now. And that is why I'm sharing with you the new details being updated today, March 23rd, that illegal immigrants will not be included in the DOGE dividend refund checks. The concept has received some pushback from GOP lawmakers on Capitol Hill, and that is the primary holdup we've heard, is that Mr. Fishback and his team right now are trying to pitch this to conservative fiscal hawks that are saying that they're concerned about inflation, taking down the debt, and they're saying we need to get them on board as well and say, hey, listen, we're going to address these issues because, yes, we need to deal with the U.S. national debt. However, we also feel like we need to give the American people a stimulus refund check, a DOGE dividend check to say, hey, sorry for the mismanagement of your taxpayer dollars. Here is a check of 20% of clawbacks. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson declined to support a proposal to fund the stimulus checks for American taxpayers using savings from DOGE. Politically, that would be great for us. You know, it gives everybody a check, Mike Johnson said at the Conservative Political Action Conference. But if you think about our core principle, right? Fiscal responsibility. is what we do as conservatives. That's our brand, Johnson said. And we have a $36 trillion federal debt. We have a giant deficit that we're contending with. I think we need to pay down the credit card, right? Mr. Johnson said. Despite Johnson's reservations, Fishback told Newsweek that he has been in contact with the Speaker's office, and he remains optimistic. I think Speaker Johnson is rightly concerned about the debt, and so are we, which is why 80% of the proposal says that the DOGE savings go to narrowing the deficit and paying down the debt, Fishback said. He argued that the proposal could help rebuild public trust in the government's handling of taxpayer dollars. Nearly 7 in 10 taxpayers believe that their government is not using their money wisely. It's time to restore the truth between the taxpayer and her government. Let me know. Do you believe that they are using our taxpayer dollars wisely? Do you agree with Mr. Fishback? If you think the government is using our money wisely, put yes. If you think no, put no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And this is one way to do that. So I think if you zoom out a bit and understand the situation that we're in, and we've shared our feedback to Speaker Johnson, I have a lot of respect for him. But this is something where we are going to have to make the best argument. And I'm confident that we will make that argument to him and to congressional Republicans who aren't yet sold on this DOGE dividend proposal by the president. The proposal outlines that 20% of the savings generated by DOGE would be returned to the taxpayers through stimulus checks. According to the DOGE website, with the current savings of $115 billion, American taxpayers would receive approximately $142 if the distributions went out today. And this is covering sort of the same information that we just covered here now. So there you have it, you guys. So more details. The bill is coming here, and the bill is coming very soon. New details being released about the bill, and that is that there are going to be millions who will not qualify for these checks, and those that do not qualify are going to be illegal immigrants. But a lot circulating on this right now. And like I shared with you over the weekend, take a look. Texts going out from Donald Trump. It says, DOGE dividend check. Should I give DOGE savings back to you? Check signed by Donald Trump. If yes, put yes. If no, put no. Also, we heard that he said it is not enough to identify waste, fraud, and abuse. We have to refund the taxpayers their hard-earned money when their money was wasted and misused, and that's what the DOGE dividend calls for. Fishback is meeting with lawmakers in the House and the Senate, and they're very productive, those meetings. And he said he plans, the plan may be revealed here very soon, and that is for a DOGE dividend stimulus refund check bill, official legislation released by Congress. And we're going to be seeing if this bill gets released and then is passed into law. We're hearing through the process of reconciliation, which means a majority vote. If Republicans all get on board, they can actually do it bypassing the majority needed with Democrats. So Republicans could get this done on their own. And again, as I mentioned to you, if you collect Social Security, you qualify for the DOGE dividend refund check. You do not have to work if you are collecting Social Security. I had this question asked several times. This actually references the interview that I had with Mr. Fishback, where I directly, myself personally, asked him, what if you have Social Security? There's a lot of people on my channel that are saying, hey, I've paid into the system my entire lives. I don't currently work right now. Am I going to get left in the dark? Am I going to get left behind? Have I been forgotten? Mr. Fishback said, no, Mr. Steve Ram, you can see it right here. He says that you will get it if you are on Social Security. It says if you file a federal income tax return, if you pay federal income tax, which is to say that you have worked, you would receive a DOGE dividend check. That individual and their household would benefit from this payment. That is, if you do not qualify for Social Security. But if you do, Social Security, you get the check. And you can see here on the Steve Ram podcast, and the very first line up here, it says, the creator of the proposal to distribute 5,000 DOGE dividend stimulus checks to American taxpayers has clarified the eligibility for Social Security recipients. Social Security gets this check as well. So, like I said, I'll be keeping an eye on this. I have been checking the DOGE dividend live tracker for you. There has been no movement on it lately. Might be a result of DOGE getting shut down, barred from accessing Social Security. But as more comes out, I'll let you guys know here on the channel so you know exactly what is going on, because It's sounding like here very soon we're going to be getting an update regarding these DOGE dividend checks for an official bill being released. And like I said, as soon as that is released, I will let you know here on the channel. We're going to be diving into it, covering the details. I'll let you know who is eligible, who's not, all of the qualifications, everything that is released by Congress. But that is the latest. We're hearing a little bit of information leaked out today, March 23rd, 2025, with updates coming out from that Newsweek article that they were saying millions will not qualify, and that is those that are illegal immigrants in the United States. And again, if you think that illegal immigrants should get the DOGE dividend check, put yes. If you think no, put no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But we're hearing details being released on these DOGE dividend checks. And again, if you appreciate the updates, take a second for me, hit the like button. Literally just need 20 more likes to hit 2,000. Oh, there it is. Thank you so much, you guys. 2,000 likes while we are live right now, Sunday, March 23rd, 2025. I appreciate that a ton. Also, hit subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? And all these articles that I'm referencing, they are hyperlinked in the description below. I cite all the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it, so that way you can see it is the latest. Subscribe to stay up to date. And thank you guys so much for joining me. Hope that you have a blessed evening. I'll keep you up to speed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, you guys. God bless. This is Steve.